Welcome, 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 all of you beautiful people out there to the Power Hour of Love. I'm El Bandito. And
And
with
I'm Ori.
Yes, with me tonight we've got a very special guest coming in for us, all on digital, on conference out here. While Senior Bull fell ill at the last minute and could not make it out to the show tonight, Aurelia was kind enough to be like, "Bro, I'm very passionate about this exact same cause. I would love to be right in here and talking about this with all you beautiful people." So Aurelia, thank you so much for coming out here and joining me tonight. My master moderator, always here to pick up the slack for the Power Hour. Thank you. How are you doing tonight?
I am so fantastic. I'm really happy to be here and I'm excited to talk about Pride Month. And I'm sorry that Charboil got sick, but now I get to be here, so I can't complain about.
You're getting to take advantage, huh?
Heck yeah. I feel bad that he's sick, though. Can we get some F's in chat for Charboil, please?
Definitely, definitely. Charboil really wanted to be here tonight. He helped plan a lot of what we're going to be seeing tonight. But yeah, unfortunately, just fell ill at the last minute. But we are super excited here at the Power Hour Love to celebrate National Pride Month. Of course, we've been kicking off June, typically doing our National Candy Month Love. But this month, we decided to make sure that we celebrated Pride Month a little bit right along with it because it's such an important cause. And we're going to outline why exactly we think it's so important throughout the course of the show tonight by celebrating some of our favorite representatives in both television and gaming that helped us understand a little bit more about the Pride community. So, Aurelia, I know
Yeah.
that you have been unable to stream for the rest of June here. Um,
Yeah.
but you were kind enough to let the Power Hour Love kind of pick up the mantle for your charity stream. And before we get rolling into National Pride Month stuff, I just wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about the charity campaign for the mini gamers for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital.
Well, I just want to say thank you for picking up the slack while I'm gone. I really appreciate the support that the Power Hour gives me, and thank you for everyone who's donated and spread awareness for the campaign. I love St. Jude's Children's, and I just think they do amazing work. And I'm so happy to have raised like 200 and plus dollars for them,
Yeah.
and it's going for a really great cause. So thank you for picking up the slack in my absence, and thank you guys for just supporting me all along the way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being the amazing charity streamer that you are, making sure that all of the gaming and stuff you do on your channel, all the proceeds you get from it, go directly to charities, and that's just absolutely amazing. So we're more than happy to help out, especially with such a worthwhile cause. You know, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, of course, seeking treatment for pediatrics who have cancer and other terminal illnesses. So it's such a great cause, and we're pushing you close to that $300 mark at this point.
Yeah,
And I
I'm
want to
so
give
excited.
a big shout out to Quad God out there
Yes.
who came in with just a thick raid when we were playing Saturday evening. We were playing some Division Two, and her Quad God squad, as she likes to call it, came in hot with gifting a bunch of subscriptions to the Power Hour, the proceeds of which we will be making a donation to your campaign, Aurelia. So big thank you to Quad God and the Quad God squad, especially Evil Woozy Bear and Lido out there, Johnny T, just all the whole gang out there is super amazing. So big thanks to them.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you guys.
But without any further ado, guys, you can feel free to cheer anytime during the show, throw down any subs, use your Twitch Prime sub, anything like that. We'll take all the money from that and pass it over to this campaign at the end of the month to help raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. But for tonight, we're going to focus a little bit more on National Pride Month and spreading some awareness about the LGBTQ community because it's such a wonderful community filled with people who are committed and passionate about love and the expression of love and one's personal freedom to love who they want. So
Yes.
it's such an amazing cause, isn't it, Aurelia?
Yeah. I mean, Pride Month in general, I feel like it should be Pride all the time.
Yes.
I think that a lot of people, whether they're involved in the LGBTQAI plus community or not, whether you're an ally or you're involved, you just do nothing but spread love. And the community has, I mean, welcomed me personally in and all my friends. And everyone involved with the community just seems to be like really, really awesome and really loving and accepting. And I just am so excited to be talking about it.
Definitely. No, you're absolutely right. And you're right on point with the fact that, like, it's all about inclusion and about acceptance and understanding that everyone's going to be a little bit different, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Like,
different is okay. Not everyone's gonna be involved with the same, sub community. They're not gonna react to things the same, but that's the wonderful thing about it is everyone's different, but everyone's still accepted.
yeah, exactly. I always like to say that life is like a rowboat. If we're all rowing the exact same way, we're just going to go in a circle. So feel free to be
Oh,
different.
I'm stealing that.
Feel free. Go ahead. You can have it since you're our master
DM El
moderator. And
Bandito.
yeah. But tonight, we're going to have a little bit of fun by jumping into the video view room, and we're going to play some clips from our favorite television representatives of the LGBTQ community. So we're going to jump in over to the video viewer room right now, and we're going to hang out there for a little while, guys.
Woo, woo, let's go.
Let's go. You know what, Aurelia? You're not in this room. I got to put you in this room.
You're just not including me?
I know. I'm totally lazy.
Bandito! Gosh.
Insert you in there real quick. Boop, boop, boop. There you go. Actually, you're kind of giant, though. Let me make you a little smaller, too. People actually want to see some of the program, Aurelia.
I think I have a pretty good view, so.
All right, you're not too bad on the eyes, especially in cartoon form.
Oh my God. Cute. Well, I wonder who did that graphic.
I don't know. Probably some crumb.
You did.
Know what he's
Shut
doing.
up. Oh,
did you just call me a crumb? Thank you.
If the shoe
fits. All right. So first up tonight, we wanted to take a look at Supergirl. Right? Now, this is a show that kind of rides the line between being like really serious and having epic content and being that classic kind of really corny Superman style stuff. But some of the most worthwhile aspects of that show have come through with Kara Danvers, Supergirl's sister, Alex, who turns out that she kind of discovers differences in her own sexuality and that she may in fact be gay, and comes out during the course of the show and goes on to have the best relationships within the show. The most dynamic, the most romantic, and the most interesting. I know most of season 2, I literally just watched episode to episode just to find out what Alex and Maggie were doing because they had such a great relationship. So I have the clip here where Alex is coming out to Kara for the first time. So let's take a look. What do you think, Aurelia?
Sounds great.
All right, let's do it.
Kara, hey, can I talk to you? Alone?
So what's going on? Something wrong?
No, I, just, wanted to talk to you about something about me.
Alex, whatever it is, you can tell me.
It's about Maggie.
You're a cop friend.
She and I started working on a couple cases together, and we started hanging out after work, and I started thinking about her.
I don't know what that means.
I started to develop feelings for her.
Feelings. Like,
Yeah. Those feelings.
Here's my favorite part. Watch Kara's reaction.
Maggie thought that I should tell you, and so I did. I just did.
so she's gay.
Yeah.
And are you saying you're gay too?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense of it all. It's so complicated.
Alex, it kind of sounds like you're coming out to me. Have you felt like this before?
Not like this.
Have you ever been with a girl?
No, never.
Okay, what's different? I know you haven't been dating much
But
lately.
this isn't because I haven't found the right guy.
I never said it was. I'm just trying to understand, okay?
You know, I'm up all night just thinking about it. And if I'm being honest, you know, I realize that maybe I've had thoughts like this before. You remember my best friend in high school, Vicky Donahue?
Yeah, I remember Vicky. You guys had a really bad falling out, right?
I used to love sleeping over at her house. In her room. In her bed. And I think I felt something then, and it scared me, you know, because the next thing I know, I'm fighting with her over something so stupid, and we just drifted apart. I shoved that memory down so deep inside that it's like it never happened. I'm remembering stuff like that now.
So, are you and Maggie like, I mean, do you know if she likes you?
I know. I don't really want to talk about it anymore.
Alex.
Okay, that's our next clip we'll get to in a second. But, man, what'd you think of that clip, Aurelia?
There's a lot of things going on in that clip.
There are.
I think that the top three that I really enjoyed about it was the reaction and the fact that sometimes coming out in general is really, really a difficult thing to do. You're not sure how people will react. You're not sure like how they'll take it. And then a lot of the times it's difficult for you too.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's really hard, especially coming out later in life, because the third thing is like you do have all these memories and you're like, have I always known? You know, is this new? And it can be confusing a lot of the times, which why I think like the reaction was just incredible, because she's like, I want to understand, you know, I know this is confusing, but like let's unpack this a little bit. And I love that clip.
It's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Well, I have to say, you hit the nail on the head for the exact same reason that I like that clip. Because of the sort of tiptoeing around that both of them are doing, because it's twofold. Like you said, Alex is very much unsure that she's expressing herself properly. She's trying to tap into these feelings that she's thinking she's and realizing she's had for a long time. So she's having to express them for the first time, which for her would be difficult and confusing.
Definitely.
But Kara, like, they had the opportunity to script Supergirl as the kind of super goody-goody two-shoes who would be like, well, golly gee, that's okay. It's all right to be whoever you are on the inside. But she was confused and cared about her sister and had this genuine, real reaction of, like, she wasn't sure what she was hearing. She didn't know how to take it at first. And it like they took the opportunity to make it a very real connection rather than kind of do that classic tout Superman for being so great and so perfect all the time. It just ended up being real, where she wanted to understand where her sister was coming from. Like, are you coming out to me? Is this, you know, who you are? Are you sure of these things? And her sister, you know, Alex is trying to tell her, like, I don't know, you know, like, help me get there, you know?
Yeah,
So-
I think that definitely was a pretty real, I mean, obviously on the more positive side of things, but like the reaction was really real and really raw. And I think they did a good job representing it.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, like that's in the same show that has a guy who builds killer robot toys and they fly around in outer space or whatever. So it's like, I don't know how they're managing to put these two things in the same show.
Well, hey,
But
they did it.
yeah, they do. And I'll always commend them for the great job that they do with the interpersonal relationships that they have from a lot of the characters, because like that's just one example of just some really, really great character work between two people. It's just fantastic. And it's less about being super and more about being human, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. So that one's really good. Let us know what you think about that one, chat, and what you think about Supergirl in general. Have you seen the show? Does this make you want to watch the show more? Have you ever had an experience like this or known someone who had an experience like this? Feel free to drop it down in chat and let us know. But next up, we've got another clip here, which is going to be Laverne Cox, who plays Sophia Bursette on Orange is the New Black. Now, I got to say, Orange is the New Black, of course, the Netflix series, was totally a show I absolutely loved right out of the gate. It's so much fun and has lots of representation from the gay community, so it's really, really a progressive show. But what's really great about it is that it's based off of the true stories of someone that this really happened to. So all of these characters are representing people who really went through these experiences.
Yeah, I binged this show and I thought it was really, really, really good. And I think the representation for not only like LGBTQAI plus, but just people in general and their stories was so well documented and so well detailed that but it didn't like lose the characteristic of an entertaining show. So I'm excited to watch this clip.
Well, definitely it goes into that realm of showing how none of these people, or very few of these people, ended up in prison because they were evil. They just were circumstances of life, you know? But what I really appreciate is the casting done throughout the show, where they worked hard to cast someone who had a connection in their personal life as an actor to what the person went through that they were portraying. You know, if someone was foreign, they tried hard to get someone from that country of origin to play that character. If someone had been addicted to drugs, they tried to get someone who had struggled with drugs and alcohol abuse to portray that character. And with Sophia Bursett's character, you know, they got a transgender woman to portray a transgender woman in prison. So, yeah, let's take a look at this clip here that shows part of the struggle that Sophia Bursette goes through, the character, and how Laverne Cox herself, what she thinks of it.
You can afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. Do you understand these rights as I just read them to you?
When we meet Sophia in season 1, we see this chick who's kind of sassy, who runs the salon.
You want to look like the black best friend in the white girl movie.
We see her struggling with access to her medication.
What are those? Those are my pills.
They are now.
And that ain't enough. I need 4 of those.
I do what the chart says.
And we also see this woman who is a wife and a mother and is struggling to navigate and negotiate motherhood and love from behind bars.
What do you want me to say? That I met someone and I'm interested? That I'm lonely and I miss men?
What I love most about the first 3 seasons and Sophia's sort of evolution is that our show is not afraid to touch on real issues. The fact that Sophia was denied her hormones in prison is something that happens to far too many incarcerated transgender people all over the country.
Listen, Doc, I need my dosage. I've given 5 years, $80,000 and my freedom for this. I'm finally who I'm supposed to be. Do you understand? I can't go back.
Yeah. So powerful stuff there, huh?
Yeah, for sure. I like how she said that it was representing like real issues that actually happen. Like these things actually happen to incarcerated trans women. And I think that's so sad.
Yeah, no, absolutely, that they have trouble getting proper treatment and proper medication while they're incarcerated. You know, I mean, I'm sure that happens to a lot of inmates for a variety of different reasons. But you know, there's a lot of flaws a lot of times with the prison system out there. But this is definitely one which is an interesting point that she makes, because Sophia is literally incarcerated because she stole money to have a transgender operation. So she really did, you know, get herself arrested, and it cost her everything to be the person that she wanted to be, that she was on the inside. She wanted to be that on the outside. And you know, she sacrificed so much for that, and here they were just not kind of caring, you know, and not helping her continue to be that way, and, you know, be more productive. Yes, because she probably shouldn't be stealing, but still, you know, when you're that desperate for who you are to come out, you can kind of really sympathize with that, and you can sympathize with her struggle to say, no, I'm not going back, you know, which is such a prison kind of term, but she's using it in a whole other context there.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. The fact that she even had to go through that in order to be who she is and who she feels like she needs to be is just so sad. But I mean, it's something that goes on a daily basis for lots of people, transgendered people especially. It's just an incredibly sad thing to me personally for someone to have to struggle so much to be who they are.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the biggest things about this community that I absolutely adore. And like I said, we'll get into it in a little bit. But the fact that, like, so much of what they do is taking on burden to be who they are. And that's something that so many people don't have to deal with, that they almost can't sometimes see it from their point of view, because you've literally never had to be accepted just for being who you are.
Yeah, and they are willing to take that burden in order to be who they are, and and work their way towards personal happiness and personal growth. Like, the fact that they're willing to do that just says so much about how truly strong some of these people are.
Absolutely. And you know, along with that, like, we know that they could probably just stay closeted for the most part and make their own lives easier, but a lot of times they're coming out not only because they shouldn't have to be in a closet, they should be able to be themselves, but because they want to help other people who are having a hard time coming out and being who they are, you know? So it's twofold. It's not selfish. They're doing it for the community, you know?
I was just going to use that community word. Yeah, the fact that they're doing it for themselves and the community is just so great. And it just shows how accepting certain people, and I mean, understanding, really, because everyone has kind of been through, everybody, whether you're involved with the community or not, has been through struggles. But I mean, just the fact that they're so willing to be put on blast and have their personal life on blast, you know, is just so much. I mean, whether it's coming out or just being in the closet, it's a very difficult situation to go through. And although you know you're not alone, sometimes it can feel that way. It feels that way for everyone. But it's just another representation of how people interact with other people on this wonderful earth.
No doubt. Well, speaking of interacting with people, let me take a minute to address my chat. I feel like I've been ignoring you guys out there, right?
They're just chilling down there, hanging out.
They are. They're doing good, but I love them, and I feel bad down there. I see the chat flying by. But Samio, Democracy, thank you guys so much for coming out and hanging out with me tonight. J-Dog, absolute man, hanging out down there. Life Reboot, always first in down there. I love it, dude. He's the absolute best. Make sure to go check out his amazing channel. I know Aurelia's been pumping out the shout-outs down there, so I super appreciate it. I know all you guys can get connected to each other down there. I see Mind Hacker joining us down there in the chat. No division tonight. Nope. Monday nights is our Power Hour of Love podcast. So tonight we have a special guest, Aurelia. She's with us tonight talking about National Pride Month and celebrating some of our favorite representatives of the Pride community in both television and gaming. But thank you for coming by. Aurelia, of course, is the one who's hosting the charity event that I was working on, that you and the Quad God Squad has spent so much time with the other night and supported so much. So thank you for coming by, and I'm glad that you get to see her a little bit. She has her own channel out there that I know I'm going to have to get down here and put the command in for. So.
Yeah, sorry. Mind Hacker, thank you very much for everything you and Quad God did.
And yeah, throw her a follow down there. She plays some awesome VR games, some cool indie stuff and things like that. So make sure to check her out. But again, we normally do a bunch of pop culture stuff and some nerdy news we'll have in the middle of the program tonight. So if you want to stick around and have some fun with that, hopefully you'll have a good time. Right now, we're looking at some clips from different television representatives and different times that they have either come out or discussed their orientation during their course of their shows. So it should be pretty cool. Next up, we've got a really fun one, right? Because, like, these are pretty serious, but it can be really fun and very positive, right? So we've got a really good one here. That's Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine coming out as bisexual.
I'm so excited for this.
Now, Stephanie Beatrix, right, she comments herself on being bi, right? And Brooklyn Nine-Nine features one of the most inclusive character sets on TV, right? They never play for cheap jokes on the show, although they have, a gay captain on the show. They have Rosa, who's bisexual, and they meet a number of gay people throughout the show. And admittedly, Charles and Jake have sort of a pretty loose relationship there, But when Rosa comes out to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's exceptionally fun. So let's go ahead and check this one out.
Something I'd like to say. I'm a pretty private person, so this is kind of hard for me, but here we go. I'm bisexual. All right. I will now field 1 minute and 0 seconds of questions pertaining to this. Go. Amy.
How long have you known?
Since 7th grade. I was watching Saved by the Bell, and I thought, Zach Morris is hot. And then I thought, Lisa Turtle, also hot.
The fact that the words Kelly and Kapowski didn't just come out of your mouth is lunacy.
What made you decide to tell us now?
Charles found out on the road trip, and I was positive he was not going to be able to keep the secret for much longer.
Bye, Rosa. I mean, not bye, but bye. I mean, see ya. I mean, have fun only having sex with men, just banging dudes left and right. I just stopped saying bye altogether.
No, bye, not bye. Bye.
I love that scene so much.
It's so
Not
good.
bye, but bye. Have fun banging men.
Charles is just so awkward on there. I don't know what it is about people named Charles. They're always weird dudes.
Yeah.
But the show continues on through Rosa having to come out to her parents and talk to them, which doesn't go as nice. But what's great is Jake and a lot of the other members of the Nine-Nine are there to support her, even at times when her family's not. So it's great to see them handle that serious side of things while also making the experience lighthearted enough that everyone can accept it. They can see themselves in that situation and know that it's okay. And I think in a lot of ways that's something we forget, is they often have comedies and things that have some almost borderline derogatory comments towards the gay community or the pride community in general. But anytime we can kind of laugh at something that people are scared of talking about, we make it a little easier to talk about.
It makes it more socially acceptable by adding humor to it. But a lot of the times, I think sometimes they can make it too humorous. But I think this scene in particular, and especially throughout the show, it kind of represents that sometimes, your family doesn't have to be blood. It can be friends. It can be your coworkers that you come out to. It can be so many different things. So it added humor, but also like a really good serious element.
Yes, and Jake's reaction is like the perfect example.
I love it.
Of humor. It's like the fact that Kelly and Kapowski didn't come out of your mouth is lunacy.
It's too funny.
Super good stuff, right? But of course, we couldn't be talking about iconic Pride community representatives without talking about the night that 42 million people tuned in all the way back in 1997 to what they called the puppy episode of Ellen. Right? Guys,
I've never seen this. I'm ready.
Oh, you've never seen this? Okay.
No.
All right, let's check it out.
This is so hard, but I think I've realized that I can't even say the word. why can't I say the word? I mean, why can't I just say... I mean, what is wrong? Why do I have to be so ashamed? I mean, why can't I just say the truth? I mean, be who I am. I'm 35 years old. I'm so afraid to tell people. I mean, Susan, I'm gay.
Keeping it on the DL right there. But I mean, what a way to do it.
That's one way to come out for sure.
Definitely.
But, go Ellen. She played a character when, being out wasn't socially acceptable on TV, and then she represents the community so well. Like, I love Ellen. Get some emotes in the chat for Ellen, please and thank you.
Let's see him down there. If you got a little bit of love, spread it, right? But yes, so that episode came out much to the kind of worry of the network there. They actually titled it the puppy episode because they wanted to showcase Ellen being in a relationship, and when they told the executives that they wanted her to be in a gay relationship, they said, dude, can't you just get her a puppy and let her have a relationship with that?
Oh my gosh.
So that's why they called it the puppy episode, right? But like you said, what an icon Ellen is for coming out in the time that she did. Although she wasn't the first gay person represented on TV, she was the first gay lead and the first person to come out in a show. What's interesting, too, is she aired that episode and appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show to come out in person on the very same day.
Yeah, I did see her clip from Oprah. I didn't know that it was on the same day, though.
Yes, yeah, it was on the same day. And it actually got leaked a few weeks earlier that's what the episode was going to be about. So they just planned it so she'd be there on the exact same day. So it was pretty cool.
That's smart. That's so great.
And I remember I was a youngin' when this came out on TV, maybe I was in middle school, maybe right at the end of elementary school kind of a thing. No, it might have been later than that. This was what, 97? Yeah, 97. Okay, so maybe I was freshman in high school kind of thing. But no comments, Aurelia. But
I'll hold my tongue.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I remember watching this with my sister, and me and her watched it in the afternoon, probably on a rerun. I don't think we saw it live. But I remember watching it and my sister turning to me and be like, dude, can you believe that? Ellen's gay. And I was just like, oh. I don't think I had a shot with her anyways, so no big loss,
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, cool, good for her. But at the time, not realizing you couldn't do that. You couldn't just tell people you were gay.
A big, big deal. For the time frame, oh my gosh, that was huge.
Yeah, it's iconic, and something a lot of people remember. Obviously, she just celebrated the 20th anniversary of that on her daytime talk show just a few years ago. And if you ever catch those clips online from her talk show too, she showcases a lot of different moments of the show and leading up to it, and a little bit more of the behind-the-scenes stories, which is really interesting. It's interesting stuff. So Life Reboot says, sadly, I remember all of the reactions of my high school peers when that happened. High school is the worst. Yeah, oh yeah. Courtney girl, thank you for coming by again tonight. I'm sorry.
A lot of people took it really, really poorly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they did, and definitely for me back in 97, that was a weird time because we were just coming up to the millennium, and the big move towards progression hadn't quite happened yet. There were still a lot of hangers-on of things in the past, and we're not 1,000% there yet, but we're so much farther ahead than we were 20 years ago, Now,
yeah, for sure. Sorry, I was talking to chat.
No, you're okay. I appreciate it.
We have come so far as a community, and I just have nothing but compassion and love for everything that the LGBTQ AI plus community has become. And I feel like these people that paved the way for what it is today is just so amazing.
No, it absolutely is, and it's just funny to me because I've never identified as part of that community, but when I was a kid, I definitely used to complain to my mom and be like, yo, how come my sister gets to wear skirts and dresses? That's not fair. I want to be able to do that, you know? And she's like, well, you can't really do that, you know? And I think back about that, and I think that's so cute, you know, that I did that. But also it kind of sucks that, like, you know, you can't do that, you know? And I know, like, around the house, my mom would be like, dude, if you want to wear a skirt, knock yourself out. You know, of course, I'm like, you know, 5 or something, you know? But still, you know, it's nice to know that things are changing in a way where people can express themselves and try different things without someone else telling you what's right and what's wrong, you know?
Yeah, and just because you don't identify within, you know, the disciplines of LGBTQIA plus doesn't mean you can't be an ally, can't be a supporter, can't share the same love for, you know, for the community as someone who does identify differently, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, you know? And like I said, we'll get into that here in just a second. We got one more clip we want to watch, but we did want to explain and talk a little bit about why we here at the Power Hour Love wanted to make sure we covered this topic, right? But real quick, the last clip that we have from TV comes right back to Supergirl, right? So Supergirl had Nicole Maines, who won a 2014 case that advanced rights for transgender people, play Naya Nal, a.k.a. the hero Dreamer, right? She is TV's first transgender superhero, and she appears in the first episode of Season 4 of Supergirl this year.
Woo woo!
Yeah. So let's take a look at Naya Nal here. This, I mean, if you're watching the show, I'll admit this is a bit of a spoiler because it's like the last episode of the show, right? But it's a fantastic clip. So let's check it out.
This is Cara Danvers with Catco Media, and this is a worldwide exclusive. I'm here with a hero who has been fighting in the shadows. This is Dreamer. My first question, who are you?
I am Dreamer, and I am a descendant of a daughter of Naltor.
When did you come here from Naltor?
I didn't. I was born here in America. I grew up in
Shut this
an
off.
idyllic town
Can't. Someone
where
hacked the system.
humans and aliens lived together in harmony. My mother was Naltorian, but my father was a human.
So you are both human and alien?
Yes. My parents believed that humans and aliens could coexist, and I am living proof of that. But growing up wasn't easy. I am also a trans woman. I'm different, Ms. Danvers, but so is everybody. And I don't know when that became such a bad thing. The greatest gift we can give each other is our authentic selves, and sharing that, sharing our truth is what will make us strong. So here I am. I am both human and alien. And I am a trans woman.
Supergirl, all new episodes Sunday at 8, 7 Central on the CW.
So what'd you think of that one, Aurelia?
I loved it. I think my favorite quote was obviously the sharing our truth is what makes us strong. No matter how difficult it is, it's so important to just be true to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, studies show that that's sort of confinement, trying to hide your true self. It just stresses you out, causes illness and disease, you know?
It does.
So it's not good. It's not healthy at all. And we don't want people to do that, you know? Nicole Maines, the actress, was quoted saying, "If I had a trans superhero, someone who looks like me wearing a cape while I was growing up, that would have changed the game. That would have been an entire new level of validation in myself to think that I can be a superhero." So that's what she said in an interview about being cast as Dreamer. And I have to say that, like, she absolutely crushes it. Great character on the show. But that speech alone just made the whole character worthwhile. And what's funny to me is that while watching the show, I kept thinking how they were having this war on aliens, you know, and it was like humans first and aliens second. We want aliens off our planet, right? So I kept thinking, boy, this is so like a left and right political thing, you know, of kind of the immigration stuff that we go through a lot. But it became kind of more apparent that this allegory runs through so many different facets of our lives and of society right now, and especially through the gay community, because the Supergirl logo comes out with a rainbow background, like in the clouds every week, and I kind of never put it together. It just looked like this prismatic sort of imagery. But I'm like, dude, they're obviously representing Pride right there. And like watching that episode and seeing that monologue that she does, like just woke me up to the whole thing, that I was like, okay, everything they're talking about here actually plays in many different allegories of society, but especially to the gay community and being accepting of them, because in the end, just like racial inequality, they're people that bleed just like we do. They have the same thoughts and feelings that we do. You know, we can't start striking people down just because they were born different, or because they feel different, or because they love different. You know, we're all different. We're all different. Some people like blonde-haired people, some people like redhead people. The minute we start saying that, like, those differences mean we can't hang out, it's where it's all going to come crumbling down. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't have said it better myself. Just love everyone, accept everyone, and we are at such a turning point as a society to just make everyone feel loved and everyone feel accepted. Are there going to be crappy people out there? Yes.
Yeah.
But if the majority of us just try to be good people and considerate of everyone, then, you know, we can change the world. We can change society.
Absolutely. You know, because a lot of people, right, can make something big happen, right? But it only takes one person to start that wave of a lot of people, you know? So if each of us take a little bit of this message, a little bit of this pride, a little bit of this inclusiveness, a little bit of this compassion for our fellow man, and bring it to 2 or 3 people we know, we'll double, triple, quadruple those numbers in no time. Because it's up to each and every one of us to start making that change in ourselves and in the people we know and in the way we live our lives, and to set that example for others. Right? So before we get into some PoDunk news and some fun stuff here for a little bit, I'd like to take a moment to talk about why we chose to do this at the Power Hour of Love. Like I said at the beginning of the show, Charboil's not here tonight. He got sick at the last minute, so he couldn't be here. But we wrote a lot of this together, and Aurelia was nice enough to come in and sit in with me tonight, because we know she has very similar beliefs, you know? But as 2 straight men, Charboil and I, it's probably seems like, hey, we're not the best representatives of the Pride community, right? You think,
hello,
you know, we haven't. Well,
I will be that representative.
No, you're fine. Like you said, even people that aren't part of the community should be able to support it, you know? And
yes,
we have friends and family members, right, that impact us, right? But the impact of the negative part of the Pride community doesn't really fall on us. We don't really see it very often. It's not a part of our day-to-day lives like it is for a lot of people, right? But the understanding of the importance of inclusiveness and compassion is universal, right? So at the Power Hour of Love, we feel like we and everyone who gets the opportunity to watch this program has a social responsibility to accept and celebrate our differences and our love, right? Because this all kind of ends up getting summed up in one word, and that word is love, right? We all have love for different things. As nerds, Charboil and I, we love D&D, and we loved comic books, and we loved Godzilla and pro wrestling, and stuff that was dorky, and that we got the shit kicked out of us for liking, and that we got excluded from cool events because we weren't sports guys, you know, and we weren't like normal jocks or preppy dudes or whatever, you know. We got a lot of crap for things that we loved when we were kids. But you know what? We are so lucky to have been around long enough that the world has accepted the things that we love. You know, the Avengers is a $1 billion industry. Captain America is a household name. You know, pro wrestling, $1 billion industry. Everybody knows who John Cena and The Rock is, you know? So we know how hard it is to love something, but to have that love misunderstood and rejected by others, right? We've felt that in some small capacity. But what we can't do is imagine what it's like when that love is as important as the love that the Pride community has, right? Because the Pride community, they love freedom, right? The freedom to love who you want, to be who you want, and to be treated equally despite those choices. So as a comic book fan myself, I've admired people who fought for freedom my whole life. So how could I not admire the Pride community for what they do? Yeah, I'm cutting some onions out here, Jay. The Pride community shows courage in the face of adversity, and they strive for acceptance of their own personal freedom. They take on so much and are far too often the target of abuse and ridicule, yet they take it on with pride. Like I said earlier, you guys do it not only for the freedom to do those things yourself, but to help others find the freedom to do that as well. So it's pretty outstanding, you know? And we here at the Power Hour love, if there's one thing that we advocate, right, it's love. So we encourage each and every one of you out there to love yourself, right? Love who you want to love. And let others love you just the way you are. Because like Nyanal said in her clip, right? The greatest gift we can give each other is to be our true selves. So be you. We invite all the viewers tonight to drop the exclamation point Pride down there in the chat. It'll drop a link to the Human Rights Campaign Foundation. That is helping out with the Equality Act, and you can learn more about it and go to that website and decide for yourself if it's something you want to support, because it may not be. But we'd like to invite you to check it out, to make your own informed decision, and to try to show some compassion for your fellow man and what they go through. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on this program tonight. We're going to jump into some PoDunk news and have some fun. But thank you guys for listening to that message. I'm sorry I struggled through it there a little bit.
No, you did great, and you are amazing. Everything the Power Hour stands for, I am 100% behind. You guys are representing the best in this world, and you are creating a community where people can feel loved, people can feel safe, people can be who they are. And I think that is absolutely incredible. And I think everybody down in chat right now would agree. So Thank you guys for what you do. And chat, remember that you guys are loved, you are awesome, and never change who you are. And if you ever need anything, the Power Hour and myself, we are always here for you. So if you, no matter what you're going through, reach out to one of us, because you are accepted here and we love you.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, look at how hard that was for me to read and to say, when these are things that, again, don't weigh on me anywhere near as heavy as they do for people who are fighting for these freedoms, you know? So a couple of extra notes on the Human Rights Campaign Foundation. They just passed in the House of Representatives, and it is now going to Senate. In 30 states, LGBTQ community is at risk of being fired, refused housing, denied services, simply because of who they are. The Equality Act is trying to put a stop to that sort of thing. And that will go beyond, obviously, the Pride community and help people of different races and stuff as well. So it's an interesting act. Get out there, like I said, check it out for yourself. And just thank you guys, and feel free to spread this message as much as you want. And, you know, I hope that each and every one of you can take a little something away from that, because I know each and every one of you have brought a little something to me. So thank you, Aur3llia, for helping me out on the tail end there, especially. But that takes care of the representation that we wanted to celebrate from television. On the other side of the news, we'll be talking about some Pride community representatives in video games. Some of just our favorite ones that we just picked out. There's just so many, even with television and with film and comic books and everything else. There's so many representatives out there. We can only pick a select few. So we picked some of the ones that we just happened to like and wanted to talk about tonight, and we'll get to them right after the news. But for right now, Aurelia, what do you say? You want to jump into some PoDunk news?
PoDunk news.
All right, let's do it.
PoDunk news.
Well, you're giant in here again, too. Shoot.
I mean, obviously, I have to be the center of attention. Please, actually, I just saw myself. Please make me smaller. I'm not that important. Gosh, Aru.
All right, we'll make you a little smaller there. Wee, 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 wee.
That was my interpretation of Pac-Man.
Oh, okay.
You should yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. I had a joke, but it flopped. Wah wah.
That's okay.
Hey man, it happens to the best of us.
I had a friend whose dog, no joke, right? When it was like kind of disgruntled, the dog would go like roo, 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 roo. And I was
Sad
like
pupper.
I was like, bro, your dog sounds like Pac-Man. It's like roo, 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 roo,
Doggos make some weird sounds, I'll tell you what. So
They
do
do.
cattos. Cattos make weird sounds.
They do. Cats make fun sounds, though. I like them. Dogs make scary sounds sometimes. I don't like that.
It's true.
All right, so let's jump into some PoDunk news. Let you guys know what's going on in this crazy, wacky PoDunk world out there, right?
What is going on in the world?
First and foremost, Twitch acquires Bebo, right? So Bebo is a former social media platform, right? That Twitch has acquired to bolster esports, right? And in an effort to make a deal for the esports brand, right? They paid a reported $25 million for the acquisition of Bebo, right? So launched in 2005, Bebo started out, like I said, as a social networking website, but it has since relaunched and is a studio focused on creating applications. Allegedly, both Discord and Facebook were also attempting to acquire the company before Twitch finally sealed the deal. So Twitch's acquisition of Bebo aligns with its attempts to further increase its footprint in esports. And following this acquisition, it's reported that Bebo's technology and staff is being put to use in Twitch Rivals, which is, of course, is Twitch's series of competitive events aimed at streamers. Now, they're hoping that Bebo's influence and technology will help expand in terms of both features and audience.
As someone who had Bebo, I am totally for this. Bebo was awesome. You had so many customizations.
Ooh, I like customizations.
Yeah. Did you have a Bebo? Did anybody in chat have Bebo? Please.
I've never
raise
even
a
heard of Bebo.
You've never heard of Bebo?
I'd swear Bebo's the name of a robot in some like cartoon or something. I'm thinking of the dude from Adventure Time. His name's Bemo.
Bemo. Yeah. No, Bebo was like MySpace, Facebook, mashed together, but with customizations. It was amazing. I
cool,
probably still have a Bebo account somewhere out there. Hopefully, it's never found. Let's be real. There's probably some weird shit on there.
Well, what's funny is like back in the days of MySpace, like the customization when they started opening that up where people could change their backgrounds and add songs and put in a video and like that's what killed that.
Oh my God. I saw a Tumblr post and it was like, oh man, I wish that you could like have a theme song to your page. And I was like, oh my God, we've reached a generation of people that don't know what MySpace is. Like,
yes. And you're just like, no, you guys will bring it all down again.
Life throwing shade? Come on now.
I like Circle though. Beep boop 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 beep boop. All right, next up we're talking some Grand Theft Auto. That's right, the GTA Online Casino, right, is finally going to become a reality, right? So Rockstar was quoted as saying, "With something for everyone, the Diamond Casino and Resort will feature lavish amenities, exclusive shopping, first-class entertainment, and state-of-the-art gaming facilities. Whether you're having a night on the town with friends or Seeking a brief solitary escape, the Diamond Casino and Resort is open to one and all. So come experience the tasteful luxury that the Diamond has to offer, including best-in-class concierge, valet parking, the exhilaration of spinning the lucky wheel for a chance at life-changing prizes, and finally, curated selection of spirits at the bar and lounge. A range of sophisticated table games, and much, much more.
See you guys there.
Yeah, right? Now, given the nature of GTA Online, we also expect a powerful streak of seediness to run through the course of the casino.
Oh no, it's gonna be completely clean. No badness. Totally legal things happening here.
It's totally fine.
Circle says that Tom is his best friend on MySpace. Same
Oh.
Circle.
Nice, yeah. He unfriended me. I was pissed. No, I'm just kidding.
You must have really fucked up. He was literally friends with everybody.
You're like, dude, you must have put way too
Oh,
much
I'm
shit on
sorry.
your
Is it
MySpace.
Power Hour After Dark? My bad, guys. That's our one F-bomb.
Everybody gets one.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. So we got a little bit of a Spider-Man tease last week on a Sunday, which was a weird day to release an announcement. They posted up the number 4 drawn in webbing on Marvel Comics Twitter page. Right? So, of course, this threw out a slew of speculation as to whether or not Marvel Comics was actually going to draw and create the Spider-Man 4 Sam Raimi sequel that never made it to the big screen. Right? So, you know, that's kind of cool. It's a cool thought to think like, hey, we might have like pulled this up. But in the end, when the countdown, like the next day started, it was a 3 and then a 2 and then a 1. So we knew it wasn't anything with the Fantastic Four. We knew it wasn't a Spider-Man 4 comic or anything. So in the end, what it turned out to be was that J.J. Abrams is co-writing a new Spider-Man miniseries with his 21-year-old son, Henry Abrams. So we're like, okay, that's really cool, but just the weirdness in the way that they made and pitched this announcement kind of really seemed to strike a bad chords with fans, right? It earned instant resentment online, right? And that stems from the first teaser that they put out, that number 4 in webbing, like I said. Because barring a Spider-Man and Fantastic Four crossover, the only other natural conclusion was that Marvel was hinting at the hereto said Sam Raimi canceled Spider-Man 4 movie. And C.B. Cebulski, the editor-in-chief of Marvel, even joked about it the next day when they posted the 3, saying, oh, I guess it can't be Spider-Man 4, can it? But, like, really? Like, who starts a countdown to a Wednesday on a Sunday? And who starts a countdown at the number 4? You know? Like, you start them at 10, 5, 3. How many countdowns have you seen, Aurelia, that started on a 4?
Well, Aurelia is no longer in the Power Hour, so this is Aur3llia taking
Oh
over.
no! We have Aur3llia in the house.
Honestly, most people start at 3 for a countdown, or like maybe like a week out, like 7, like a good number. But like one, like on a Sunday, like let's be real, people are not looking for announcements on a Sunday.
Yeah, super weird, and especially an announcement that starts on a 4.
Yeah, like what? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but I'm sure it was a good idea in someone's mind.
Yeah, I suppose, but again, regardless of how you feel, whether you're excited about the comic or not, it was a weird campaign. But I know J.J. Abrams has done a lot of like pretty baller work when it comes to films. I mean, he did The Force Awakens, which I'm arguably not a super fan of, but it's still a solid movie. I mean, it's a good movie. But when he did Mission Impossible 3, that was fantastic, you know? And the Star Trek reboots that he did, while again, I don't think they fit canonically with anything that ever happened in Star Trek ever, it was still a good movie. I can't take that away from him. So, Circle, coming in with that sub right there. Thank you so much. The absolute best. In case you didn't know, all of the subs coming through this month are going to support Aurelia's charity for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. So thank you for that. We'll make sure to lump that into the sum that we'll be giving them at the end of the month. Woot woot! Even though I'm 5 days away from 3 months. Oh no! Well, thank you so much. Absolutely appreciate it, man. All right, so last but not least here in the news, we have got some headlines. This will be the rapid fire segment of the news where we just toss out a couple of headlines from stories that are so big you've probably seen them already, but we figured we'd at least put them on your radar if they weren't. All right, so first up, we have Khajiit if you have coin.
Khajiit have wares if you have coin.
Well, Bethesda teams up with the Cat Rescue Foundation to find homes for real-life Khajiit. So the Cat Adoption Foundation, Inc. and Bethesda posts these posts on Twitter that show you a cat that is in need at a no-kill shelter that you can come and adopt. So they actually have Khajiit if you have coin. So,
I'll take all of them.
yeah, right.
Is
Look at
all
how
of them
cute
an
this little
option?
guy is.
I know. Demo says, what? This is amazing. Yeah, Demo. So I'm sensing that we are going to get all the cats, okay? I'll take them on the weekends and you can have them during the week. Deal? Deal. Okay.
You didn't even wait for him to answer. You're just like, deal? All right, done.
Circle wants in on this action as well.
Yeah, no, dude, I love cats.
I'm allergic to cats too, Demo.
Dude, me too. Like, I love cats, and it's the one animal I'm allergic to. So I'm always like, of course. That's the way the universe works out for me. The one pet that I really love, the universe is like, you can't have that. You can't.
Guys, we should get a cat.
I'm gonna get one of them hairless cats.
Oh, Sphinx cats? They're bomb.
Yeah. That way I don't have to worry
But
about
anyway,
the allergy.
Bethesda Pog. I love Bethesda
Yes.
just because cats.
Yes, very cute, very cool campaign that they're doing here. All right, next up, Avengers Assemble again? Avengers Endgame being re-released with new additional footage at the end of the film. They're saying they're not actually changing anything within the film, but they're going to add a couple of extra minutes towards the end that may be a lead-in to the new Spider-Man movie as well.
Maybe
I
I'll
haven't-
actually see it this time.
Yes, maybe you will. You should, and then we could stop having no spoilers in the chat. You know? I need Buddy. Well, thank you for popping in after 5 months. I super appreciate it. You're always welcome. It's fine to take a break. All right, so speaking of Avengers Endgame, Florida Man goes 116 strong as he has seen Avengers Endgame 116 times and counting to break the 200 world record for most times someone has seen a movie in theaters.
So, Bandito, are you worried that someone's coming for your record?
They're going to break my record of how many times I saw Pretty in Pink, you know?
Oh. Oh, no.
No, seriously, like, I saw the original Avengers, the 2012 one. I saw it 4 times in theaters. So that's the most I've ever done. How about you? Have you ever seen a movie 4 times or more? I think you told me you haven't even been to a theater in like 7 years.
Yeah, I don't think I can say that I have, honestly. I've watched Grease probably like 15 or 16 times.
Okay, but like at home or like as a play?
Well, not in theaters, but at home. But at theaters, I honestly can say I have never been to a theater twice. It's always been just the one and done.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's okay. I don't have a lot of movies that I've seen a lot like that. I think Casino Royale is the only other movie I've seen 4 times in theaters. And in both instances, I was taking people with me back to see it, you know? Because it was like other friends, and they're like, well, I don't have anyone to go with. I'm like, bro, I'll go with you to watch. Let's go watch it right now.
You're like, you have to see it.
Yeah, you're like, it's mad good, dude. Casino Royale was a fantastic kind of reboot of the James Bond franchise. So that one was totally worth going to go see. But I think I may have seen the original Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi one from 2002. I think I saw that one in theaters 4 times as well. You know, but that was just me being like a Spider-Man dork. So
That's insanity.
yeah, it was pretty fun. But I'm a pretty big movie buff. Like, there was a time in my life when I would literally go to the theater each week and be bummed because nothing had released that I hadn't seen.
Oh my gosh, Bandito. Okay, so chat, we're gathered here today. This is your intervention. You're not actually hosting the Power Hour. We need to talk about your movie addiction, Bandito.
Well, thankfully, the Power Hour has taken me away from feature films, so there's that. And Netflix made it where I don't have to leave my house, so that's good too. We love you very much, Fall, but we need to talk. All right. Next up. It's a good game to die hard. That's right, dude. This I thought was so cool. The Nakatomi Heist board game, right? Based off the Die Hard franchise, is coming soon to a store near you where you can play as either John McClane or the team of criminals trying to rob the Nakatomi Towers. Now, are you a Die Hard fan, Aurelia? Have you ever seen those flicks?
No, I can honestly say I haven't.
Oh man, this is one that goes on the bucket list because you gotta watch a Die Hard movie.
So do I need to see Die Hard or Endgame first?
Go see Endgame. Go see Endgame. That's fine.
Okay.
Die Hard's like a Christmas movie. You want to watch that like Christmas time.
All right, I'll put it on my list of things to forget.
There you go. I'll mark it down for you. But
Oh,
hey,
good.
look, we got a record right here. We'll remember. So. But what's funny is, like, Die Hard was a super great movie. Die Hard 2 is a really good movie as well. Die Hard 3 is fantastic. Like, I think Die Hard 3 is one of those movies that made me realize, like, I want to do something with film or animation in my life. Because, like, this is so well put together and I absolutely love it. So, definitely, like, if you get there, you got to check out 3. You know, like, 3 is super, super, super good.
Will do.
We'll do. That was a code for not gonna happen. So last but not least, we've got a Jabroni in Jeopardy out here. That's right. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has hilarious reaction to getting his own Jeopardy category. Right. So a couple weeks ago, I think a month or so ago, we read the story where Ming-Na Wen, the actress who plays Melinda May in the outstanding show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., actually got to be a question on Jeopardy, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson got a whole category named after him. You know?
Well, that rocks.
Hey! Throw some love out there for the pun master general right here.
I'm very punny.
So The Rock posted on his Twitter, "I'll take the entire Mr. Dwayne Johnson category for the MFing win, Alex." All right, and that will wrap it up for the headlines for tonight. Just giving you guys a little bit of taste of the fun and wacky stuff going on in this beautiful PoDunk world of ours out here. But let's jump back. What do you say, Aurelia? Let's jump back into the studio and talk a little bit more about Pride Month and some of our favorite representatives from the gaming community. How does that sound?
Yum, let's go.
Hey, what's going on here? Zert, there we go. Fixed. Nailed
Zert.
it. All right. Let me just catch my slides up here. I didn't realize I left them on when we left. But there we go. National Pride Month. Yeah, professional streamer, right?
If it ain't scuffed, I don't want it.
I know, you're here, so most everything broke.
I'm surprised that it hasn't broken more since I'm here, honestly. I just look at something wrong and it's...
Well, considering last time you were here, the audio all blew out like right at the beginning and stuff.
Anytime I'm here, it's going to be a bad time. You just have to learn to accept it.
This has been pretty flawless tonight. I'm stoked to have you, so...
Me too. I'm happy to be here. Let's talk about Pride.
Yay.
Again, because I love Pride.
Yes, and I take pride in your outstanding channel and the fact that you do so much work directly for charity. Because it really inspired me, you know. We weren't sure what to be doing with the Power Hour of Love other than just spreading the love until we met with you and saw your channel and the amazing work you do. And now we have the opportunity to help support your charities and raise awareness and help people contribute to some amazing, amazing causes. So this month, I know you're running St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in your campaign for the mini gamers. And since you unfortunately aren't going to be able to stream for the rest of the month, we here at the Power Hour are graciously accepting the task of carrying on for the charity, and we will be playing the Division 2 both Wednesday and Saturday for the charity. All cheers, subscriptions, bits, anything you guys want to send our way, we're going to send to this charity, guys. So keep that in mind, and feel free to join us Wednesday night, 9 p.m., and Saturday, 7 to 11, where, you know, the mighty Democracy may come back and squat up with us some more, because he was an absolute beast on Saturday, man, and we had a super ton of fun. So, guys,
Thank
make
you
sure
guys
to...
so much again.
Yeah, make sure to check out the charity. Make sure to spread it around a little bit. Make sure to spread some love for our fantastic Master Moderator Aur3llia and just the greatest co-host anyone could ever ask for. Let's face it.
Looks like you got a squad. Circle squad's up. Demo's gonna squad up. Look at this. Charity hype.
Heck yeah.
Double game day hype. You guys get Power Hour of Love 3 times a week? Come on now. You guys better be there and be bracket.
I know. 3 times a week is about as much love as I can usually handle.
24/7, 365 love. If I could stream every day, I would.
Oh, we're talking about streaming. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you were being dirty.
I was not.
Oh.
Why are you being dirty?
I'm not. I'm talking about streamring. Anyways,
you can't
thank
stream
you
that,
for
Aur3llia.
carrying the
That's
torch
TOS.
for my charity. You know.
Yes. Exactly.
Anyway, moving on.
Yes. For the charity, for the mini gamers out there, guys, check it out. Check out Aur3llia's page. You're gonna have some fun. She rocks some awesome VR games and some awesome indie games. But in the meantime, tonight we're talking about National Pride Month, right? And wow, video games are becoming more and more the storytelling medium that most people are seeing and interacting with. They are also getting into having awareness and more representation of the Pride community, which is fantastic, right? So I'm super, super excited to talk a little bit about some historic members of the Pride community that have been living on through games for several decades now, and also where games are going here in the future. Because right now, gaming is more about storytelling than ever. I mean, when gaming first came out, a lot of it was about getting you to pump another quarter into the machine and make another buck for the franchisee, right? But nowadays, these are the stories that we're made to experience, you know, and they want us to get to the end of the journey and see all the story and work and depth that they've put into it. And the fact that they're including representation for the Pride community is fantastic, because we get such an in-depth inside look at people who are part of the community that we may not be able to in real life. So I'm a huge fan of what they're doing in gaming with the Pride community. How about yourself, Aur3llia?
I am a massive fan of everything the gaming community does. Like, the gaming industry in general is like amazing, and they incorporate a lot of storytelling, and just like the evolution of games is incredible to watch.
Absolutely. So now you and I both know that RPG series such as Dragon Age, Divinity Original Sin, Fable, and Fallout all allow for gay, lesbian, or bisexual options for player characters, right?
Hell yes.
Yeah. So also, most contain lots of NPCs in the world that will also fall somewhere in the spectrum of those categories. So I have to say, like, first and foremost, RPGs for the win when it comes to representation out there.
RPG hype?
Yes, no doubt. But more so than that, there are a lot of historic examples, like I said. So I wanted to start off kind of back in the day and talk a little bit about 1988's Super Mario Bros. 2 and Birdo. Are you familiar with Birdo, Aur3llia?
I'm not, but I'm very excited to learn.
Okay. Well, in the first edition manual for the North American release of this NES game, Birdo is referred to as a male who believes that he is female, right? So the Japan-only video game Captain Rainbow in 2008, right, delves deeper into the struggles of her being transgender and how the outsiders view her in the Super Mario world, right?
Interesting.
So, yeah, oddly enough, Birdo is like the first transgender character in gaming, but it was almost like there wasn't anything in the game that suggested this or led to this. It was just something they happened to write in the American release manual, which almost makes it seem like it was perhaps a typo or a misunderstanding of translation. But nevertheless, we ended up with an iconic character who they later continued to develop the story in 2008. So is, you know, good progression.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to go track down the manual and actually look at it. That's incredible. So the first ever?
Yes, I believe this is the first ever appearance of a transgender character in gaming.
That's
back in
awesome.
yeah 1988. Super Mario Brothers 2. So yeah, definitely back in the day. But again, it's interesting how it's possible there, with the male who believes that he is female. Like that's an interesting phrase. So it's possible that was maybe something lost in translation between a Japanese manual and an American one. But the fact that they later said, you know what, we'll stand by it. And
They're like, we'll represent this. Like, we're about it. That's amazing.
yeah, because even in 2008, like, we were moving in that direction, but it was still very forward then. So, but
Yeah.
moving on. Yeah,
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Moving on from that, we're going to jump to 1995, the classic Chrono Trigger. I know you're a fan of this game, Aurelia.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember the character Flea?
I do.
Yeah. Now, Flea is, of course, responsible for having what's considered one of the greatest pro-transgender dialogues in gaming history, right? Because as this graphic shows, he says, male or female, what difference does it make? Power is beautiful, and I've got the power.
That's crazy.
Pretty baller, right?
I'm learning so many things.
So, yeah, like, while on one hand you can kind of look at this as him just being dismissive of the question that the character has imposed upon him, he's also, in a sense, kind of reinforcing the fact that gender fluidity is something that people don't have to, that they should consider, because what your sexuality is doesn't, what your gender is doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. What's important is the power of a person, is the moral fiber of a person. And a lot of what we were discussing earlier with the Equality Act and the Human Rights Campaign Foundation, which you can find a link to with !Pride down there in the chat, it discusses a lot about judging people based on their moral actions, like what they do, the choices that they make, the things that they do, rather than who they are and what they look like, So I'm a big proponent of that, and this is very much in the vein of that message. So I definitely big fan of Flea from Chrono Trigger.
Me too. That's amazing. It's crazy the things that you like don't catch right away, that you really have to like delve into the story and the characters to realize all this.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like I was saying, that's what's so beautiful about gaming is there's so much there and all these avenues, and they're still managing to put in all these different aspects. And mostly because people who are working there are members of the community, and they're trying to include a bit of themselves and their struggles and their lives,
Yeah, I mean, another game, just gonna off-branch this for a second.
Do it.
Celeste, that
Yes.
game has so many aspects of the developers in it. It's crazy within this incredible indie game. But even with like big AAA games, like there's a bit of devs and a bit of every person who worked on it in all the characters and all the aspects of the game. And you can play a game 15 times and not see it all. So getting like all these different things kind of pop up, in even these older games is just so cool.
No doubt. And yeah, you're
I'm like
absolutely
fangirling, can you tell?
No, that's good. That's the reaction we want people to have, is to realize
games.
it's to realize that these messages have always been there, and they've always been there for you, for you people who identify with these messages, like they're there, they're out there, and they're for you, and they're people trying to connect with you and tell you that you're perfect just the way you are, and feel free to be that person.
Yeah, you never need to change for anyone. Just be yourself, and you will find people who will love you for who you are.
Yeah. Unless the person you like's like crazy hot, then you probably got to change some stuff about yourself.
Oh, shut up. No, if they're the right person for you, then they're going to love you anyway.
Yes,
Ha,
absolutely.
take that. Checkmate, Bandito.
I'll take it. I'll topple my own king on that one. You're right. But you mentioned indie games and a lot of the modern day indie games and how much people are getting to influence gaming that is less AAA titled. So next up, we definitely are right in that same vein with Greg and Angus from Night in the Woods.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this is a 2017 game, right, where Greg and Angus are a gay couple who are best friends and band members with main character May. So you want to tell us a little bit about this game since you're familiar?
No, you got it. You have what you want to say about it. I'll comment it.
That was what I wanted to say, but you seemed pretty psyched about this one, so I just wanted to give you the opportunity to chime in too.
Okay. Well, I was just, this is probably one of the first games that I remember just being distinctly like, this is awesome that LGBTQ is in this. Like,
Yes.
it was so just glaringly obvious, and I feel like a lot of games have the sub levels of it, but for me, this is one of those games that really sticks out in my mind as like, this is a theme, and I'm about it, and I love it. I love the game for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't try to mix it in with other stuff. It's the central focus of the game, you know?
Yeah, it's great and very, very uncommon.
Yes. So definitely one that deserved a big shout out there, so we wanted to give it some love here on the Power Hour. All right, next up, we're going to take a dive back again to 1998's Fallout 2, right? And the Chista's Trial mission in particular, right? Because players can select the gender of their character in Fallout 2, a 1998 role-playing computer game set in a dystopian future, right? The game features slavery, prostitution, organized crime, and if you select the female character, then the female character Chista as your character, right, you can get into a shotgun lesbian wedding, right? So the game ended up inadvertently being totally inspiring for those looking for queer characters in game, because I don't think even as a lesbian you'd want to be in a shotgun wedding, but
I mean, whatever floats your pancake, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, are you familiar with the expression a shotgun wedding?
I mean, whatever floats your pancake, am I right?
No, that's certainly not floating your pancake. Usually that's like when a guy knocks up a girl and her dad comes with a shotgun and is like, now you're marrying my daughter.
And like I said, whatever floats your pancake, Bandito.
Okay.
Someone might want that, okay? We're being inclusive here.
Yeah, I guess if that's what you're shooting for, then you're good to go. Johnny November, thank you so much for chiming by. Chiming in and stopping by at the same time. Thank you for chiming by.
Stopping by?
Exactly. So yeah, this was a back in the day, and I have to say, like, what's going on with old Fallout boy there?
Hey, let him live his life.
Dude, this guy's got it going on. That's all I'm saying.
Let him live his life. Johnny says, I'm sure he's not going to do that if my daughter gets knocked up.
Hell yeah, man. Have you all seen the Fallout 4 marriage with a robot? Oh, no, I haven't. Is that with a synth or marrying a robot?
We'll Google it quick, unless Emma wants to link something.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I love all the different iterations they give you in Fallout games in general. Like we mentioned earlier, just RPG series in general, giving you the option to play gay, lesbian, or bisexual characters is just great. See, I thought you couldn't romance Valentine because he was a synth. Oh, I think you could romance Curie though, couldn't you? So why couldn't you romance Nick? Who am I thinking of that you... Oh, I think Strong is the one you can't romance. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, Strong was the super mutant Aurelia. So that kind of makes sense. You don't want to romance him, but...
That would make sense.
G25 Headshots! Thank you so much for joining the Legion of Love. Welcome to the channel tonight.
Follow hype.
Oh. I need buddy. Okay. Yeah, hitting us with that top secret account, huh? I appreciate it. If it makes me sandwiches and doesn't argue, I'd marry a robot. Nice. All right, so last but not least in the gaming community here, we'd like to give a shout out to Ellie from The Last of Us. So any new franchise is risky enough, right? And a zombie shooter could have easily been crushed by the weight of expectation. No one would have blamed them for playing it safe, right? But from the opening few cinematic minutes of The Last of Us, it's clear that playing safe isn't even on their radar, right? Having Ellie as a lesbian is exemplary proof of this. Not only did her being gay signal the rise of a more inclusive spectrum of protagonists, it also added a wonderful wealth of depth to her tale. Right? Because typically lesbians in fiction have often been either overly sexualized, heavily masculine, or in some cases both. Right? So Ellie, a young teenager who can handle herself but comes with all the vulnerabilities that her age brings, is neither of those things. So it's the exploration of her relationship with Riley in Left Behind that truly elevates her, though. In one of gaming's finest ever DLCs, we see Ellie's sweet, innocent, and very much in love. Right? She's the poster child for LGBTQ representation, and hopefully we'll see more characters like her in the years to come. Are you familiar with this character, Aurelia?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
Did you stop to have a sandwich?
Yeah. I think that I'm sorry.
Peanut butter, no less. Perfect.
Not peanut butter. I'm allergic to peanuts. I think that the way they approach this relationship is very, very interesting, because who expects like a relationship in a zombie apocalypse type of game, like a shooter game, let alone a relationship that is going to draw more attention in general. But they did it so flawlessly, and they developed it so well into the theme of the game that I loved it. Honestly, I thought it was really, really great.
No, absolutely. And again, it's about character work. It's about humanization. It's about getting to see into the life of someone who's different than you, and seeing it from an honest perspective that isn't just some sort of stereotype of, like we said, the overly sexualized lipstick lesbians or the heavily masculine butch lesbians. No, it's just a normal person who has a sexual orientation, you know?
Yes, it's that raw, realistic expectation. It just happens to be in a shooter game.
Absolutely. So, like what I was saying at the beginning of the segment, definitely the way that games have been moving in the past few years into telling us these stories, into giving us these looks of different cultures, of different lives, and of different spectrums of life. I just can't wait to see what they continue to do, because when we think of it in terms of watching a feature film about the life of someone who is part of the Pride community, we're watching 2.5 hours. We're spending 2.5 hours learning everything about someone's life. But when we play a game where we're with those characters, where we're an aspect of their survival, when we're with them for 40 to 200 plus hours, they become someone that we relate to so much more, and that we understand so much more. So there's another bite of that sandwich.
What? Did you ask me a question?
Did I ask you a question? No, you're fine. I was just making a statement.
I'm sorry. I
it's okay.
I thought I didn't have to comment on that.
You didn't.
Have a sandwich in my mouth.
No, I usually just go to you for you to be like, "Well said, Bandito. Good job. Very good."
Well said, Bandito. I completely agree with everything that you said.
Nice.
The sandwich is delicious.
I knew you would. I like how Johnny November mentioned someone making him a sandwich, and you're like, "Damn, I am gonna get a sandwich."
Dude, it was a 2000 IQ play. Johnny knows what's up.
He got you with them cravings, huh?
I mean, don't you want a sandwich? You're just jealous that you don't have a sandwich.
So Demo says, even in the end of the world, we challenge normative cultural expectations. Absolutely, man. You know, and like we were saying, there's just so many different avenues of Pride culture and Pride representation all throughout television and gaming and everything like that. And we can look at some aspects of it that really kind of teeter that line between being beneficial or not. Something like South Park that has, you know, their token gay relationship in that, you know, but is that still raising people's awareness? Is it raising their exposure to these sort of things? You know, like once we start looking at all of this as a whole and saying that exposure and awareness is sort of the primary goal. Getting people to understand that members of the Pride community aren't people that are somehow vastly different than us. They're exactly like us, you know? And I love watching stories and, representations of people who are in love and chase after their own personal freedom, because that's something all of us relate to. All of us want to be who we are. You know, we have something deep down inside that we want to be, a career choice, a stay-at-home mom, you know, a senator, whatever it is that you may want to be, that you have dying to get out inside of you, a streamer, a gamer, you know. Imagine if that was the core of your being, of who you were, you know, and you were struggling to have that come out and to be accepted. Right? The hardest part about that thing being accepted is the fact that if I told Aurelia I wanted to be a game designer, she's like, cool. She understands what a game designer is and how I would go about becoming that and doing that and what that would change in my life. But there's a lot of people out there that if I told them I wanted to come out, they wouldn't understand what that meant for my life. They wouldn't understand what that would change about me or about my relationship with them. So building that awareness so that people can understand the difference between coming out and staying in, liking one person and not liking a person, understanding that there is no difference between them, that it's all the same. Love is love. Personal freedom is personal freedom. It's all going to be universal, right? So in the end, it's about having that compassion for your fellow man and saying, hey, let me look at it from your point of view. Let me see where you're going with that. Let me see how this impacts your life. Let me see how this impacts my life. Learning from it, growing from it, and accepting it. Because, like I said earlier, you know, I think of life like a boat. If we're all rowing on one side, we're all rowing the same way, we're just going to go in a circle. So feel free to mix it up a little bit so we move forward and we progress as a culture, as a people, and into just amazing things that we know the human race can do once we start getting along a little bit better.
Yeah. And to kind of just tack on right at the end there, as much as I hope and I wish that coming out could be as normal as I want to be a game designer, the fact of the matter, right now it's not. And right now it's really hard for people to come out. You know, I have personal experience with everything, and sometimes you're met with, you know, animosity, and it's hard. But what you can do as a friend and as just a good human being, in my opinion, I know some people have differing ones, is you can just try to understand where everyone is coming from, whether they want to be a game designer or whether they're coming out as gay. If you are just understanding of their situation and you try to just support them in any way that they can, it's going to make their decision and their life, and ultimately it's going to make the relationship that you have with that person so much better, because you are just showing compassion and you are showing love, and you are showing that you take pride in them as a person and them as an individual, and that you love them for who they are, the way they are, no matter what your opinions are on it. And I think that is so important just for us to keep progressing with a culture surrounded by love. And it's just really important to kind of cancel out all the bad of the world.
No, absolutely. And exactly like you said, that's why they call it pride, because you should be proud of who you are, you know, and everyone should be proud to meet another person's true self. Because like we heard in the amazing clip earlier, the greatest gift we can give each other is to be our true selves, is to be honest and unabashed and open. Because once we can do that, then we can all know each other so much better, work together so much better, love each other so much more. You know, it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So we encourage everyone, have pride in yourself, be who you are, be who you want to be. And like Aurelia said earlier, if there's ever anything we here at the Power Hour of Love or Aurelia can do to help, feel free to come and chat with us. And we're here for you guys, because this is an incredible message, an important thing for all of us to work on and keep in mind and spread awareness for.
Yeah, I'm always here for you. The Power Hour is always here for you. And you just remember that you are loved. You are perfect the way you are. And you are never alone. You always have someone, and never change who you are. Ever. Because you are just the way you're supposed to be. just the way you're supposed to be. So never change.
Exactly. So here's a little bit of pride love going out tonight to all you beautiful people out there. And again, thank you all so much for coming by. I got some whispers down there from I Need Buddy and from G25. I will get to those after the show, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out and tuning in tonight. We super appreciate it. Thank you to all you beautiful people out there for hanging out tonight and hearing about this incredible message. Again, !Pride down there in the chat will lead you to the Human Rights Campaign Foundation, which is working towards not only the Equality Act, but it's also a nonprofit charity that does a lot for the Pride community in different areas. I invite you to read more about that, check it out for yourself, decide if it's something that you're interested in supporting. I hope it is. Go check it out. We have brought a little bit of this to the table for you guys tonight in the hopes that it means something to you beautiful people out there, because it definitely means something to me. I know it means a lot to Aur3llia, and it means a lot to Charboil, who was very sorry that he couldn't be here tonight. But we will definitely be back Wednesday night, 9 p.m., rocking some Division 2 and supporting Aur3llia's charity campaign for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. And we'll be back on Saturday as well from 7 to 11 p.m. Thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to carry on in your stead, you know?
Thank you for doing it, and thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you for joining me tonight. You know, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. You know, it was very last minute, so I know that, you know, I'm sure it wasn't easy for you, but I super appreciate it so much. I'm going to throw a little bit of Twitch love out there for Aur3llia. Let's throw a little bit more pride love for all you beautiful people out there.
Love. And are we ready to spread this positivity train to someone else on the Twitchiverse?
I think so. Do we have? Let's see what beautiful people we've got out here tonight.
We got Nubs, we got Valentina, we got Clops, Sweet Rolls.
I think I'm gonna hit up someone a little bit new tonight that you may not know, Aur3llia, but they raided me on Saturday, right as I was getting off of stream, and all they wanted to know was why we were spreading a message of love, because they're like, we do the same thing on our channel. So
sick. Let's do it.
I want to get over there and check them out. This is Forrest Katzen, and I'll get that set up for us, Aur3llia.
Cool. Sounds great. Guys, you better get those emotes. Get ready to spread the hype and spread the love. Are you guys ready? I can tell you in person now rather than just over a message.
Did you want to give them a chat message there to copy?
I'll give them a raid message. You guys better copy this and spam the heck out of it, okay?
Absolutely, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining me here tonight. We'll be back Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Saturday, 7 to 11. Next Monday night, we'll be back with the Power Hour Love, and we have some super amazing surprises and an action-packed July coming up for all you beautiful people starting next Monday night. So make sure you're here for that as well. We hope to see you out on the Twitchverse, and we hope to see you spreading the love out there. There's your message in chat. We're going to roll some credits and pass this raid on and spread this love to some beautiful people out there. Any final thoughts, Aur3llia?
Yeah.